Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone. We got to get into Married to Medicine. Thank God it is the season finale. We going into the reunion and then we done with these heifers. They can go take an appointment or something, get the fuck about our face. But we got our one last appointment with them and they bullshit. Let's just get into it. Before we do, y'all please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna try to hurry up and get on through this. I'm so excited to almost be to the end of the season. Y'all don't even know. And I know we got other shows to be moving on to. This ain't got nothing to do with this review. I think I'm gonna review that Real Housewives of Atlanta, but I got 2 cents on a dollar worth of business about them. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get into them. So this episode, the season finale, opens up with Toya planning this Bridgerton themed anniversary party to celebrate she and Eugene's 16th anniversary. She said she wants it to be Bridgerton themed because Bridgerton is about love against all the odds and people who aren't expected to be in love and who aren't expected to make it. And she feels like she and Eugene beat the odds, girl. And in celebration of their love, she wants to invite all of the other couples. Now, she said she don't know who all she can invite because she ain't sure who all got charges against them right now. She did send out the invitations to everybody and she got an RSVP from King and Quad, but the psych ward warden and his patient have yet to RSVP. Now, speaking of the psych ward warden and his patient, we cut over to see them going out to lunch. Now, they go to sit down at the table in the restaurant. He, oh, my little angel, you should be sitting high. And she, oh, my king. He said, don't call me that. She said, the only king I know. This is real sad that y'all are that fixated on that lady and her man that you can't even call your man my king without, don't call me that. Let me say, the way I would be telling Gregory, you got 2 options. You can either find you some kind of shock therapy, whatever kind of crazy you need to get you over this woman, but you can meet me down in the Maybelline Ephraim house because what you not gonna do is have me walking on eggshells and I can't say this and I can't do that and I can't throw this away out my house because your ass is obsessed with your ex-wife. I ain't doing it. So while they're at lunch, they decide to discuss the recent events in the group and Greg is talking about how hurt he's been by this group lately and they're talking about the fact that Toya has this party coming up and Tia's saying how she had a conversation with Toya, but Toya's talking about how she felt like she's been put in a position to have to choose and she's not gonna beg to be a part of this group. First of all, Toya gave you the choice and you refused to make a choice. You hid behind your husband and now you sit your ass up here about I'm not gonna beg to be a part of their group if she feel like she gotta make a choice. She has to make a choice because you wouldn't make one. Furthermore, you can't be the one setting it off half the time, tearing shit up, always ready to fight, and then I'm not gonna beg to be a part of this group. Nobody's gonna beg you to act like you got damn sense so you can be a part of the group. And she goes on to say that she feels like she has been treated unfairly by the group, that it's not fair for the group to ice her out based on her husband's decisions. But ain't that exactly what you said you had to do? That, well, I can't make a decision for my husband and I'm gonna go with whatever my husband decides. So what do you want? You want him to be able to make the decision for the whole group? For him to run the whole group's lives? Because it's not gonna happen. And we're not gonna play like her husband's decisions were just, I'm not going to none of these parties. I don't want to hang around anybody. I don't want them coming to my house. Her husband's decision was to go to the police station and file charges on someone that he had antagonized. He would not leave that man alone until he got a reaction. And this is for y'all who want to argue with me in the comments. I love y'all too, but we're going to have to agree to disagree because I stand on what I said. I get that King is who got angry enough to become the aggressor at some point, but Greg would not stop until he got a reaction. When he didn't get the reaction that he wanted the night before in the thick of the moment, he had to make sure that that man knew, yeah, I told her to shut up. Yeah, I told her she got a big mouth. When they were having a conversation, he could have sat his ass in that chair, but he insisted on walking up into that man's face. See, we're not going to play like because he has a doctorate and he is a doctor on the show Married to Medicine that he can do no wrong. We're not going to pretend like, oh, he's just a doctor protecting his reputation. No. This man resorted to trying to destroy another man's reputation because he couldn't destroy that woman. He took his ass to the police station and tried to send that man to jail. And now, because nobody agrees with them, now because it's backfiring on them, now I don't feel like it's fair to hold me to the fire because of my husband's decisions. Girl, please. Because if everybody was screaming, send him going to jail. We'd have been hearing a whole different tune, so I don't want to hear this bullshit. And Greg goes on to say how the guys were coming at him so hard to drop this whole situation. And he does think that maybe this is a situation that the group can handle. They all want him to do so much. They want him to make so many moves. They want him to drop it. Let's see what the group does. What? He said, you know, he doesn't want to run from a situation, but he does think that maybe stepping away from the group may be a good thing for them for a while. He said he doesn't feel good about leaving and he doesn't feel good about staying. And T suggested that maybe it is time for them to move along and do their own thing. He said, yeah, he agrees because he feels like they're the only two in the group that's putting forth any effort. If the effort is into being delusional, you're absolutely right. And let me tell you, I'm going to be real with y'all. The reason this is so particularly triggering to me, the reason I will not take my foot off G's neck is because I see that monster so clearly. I've been in a situation with a person just like G, who antagonized and instigated and picked and wouldn't stop until they got their ass whooped. And once they got their ass whooped, which they absolutely earned, like you started it, you picked the fight. Once they got their ass whooped, the first place they went was to the police station. They went to the police, the pastor. See, and this type of person will go out crying how they're the victim, but you won't tell the people how you wouldn't let that person be in peace nowhere they went. They can't come into a party, into a social gathering without you starting some shit. And once you finally got what you're looking for, now you going to the law? So no, I don't have no respect. I don't have no mercy. I don't feel bad. I don't feel like he's justified. I don't feel like he had every right. Greg is full of shit. But anyway, we move on. We see everybody getting ready for this party. They all look a Party City mess. We at Toya house. She's talking to Eugene, trying to get dressed for the party and saying how she just identifies so much with the Bridgerton era. And Eugene said, well, you identify with a fantasy because that shit ain't real. Toya is in shock about what do you mean it's not real? He said, Bridgerton is fiction. It's based on fantasy. Toya said, but I thought it was based on a true story. What do you mean? Eugene is telling her that Bridgerton is made up. And they start going back and forth about whether Black people actually had wealth and status and power during the Victorian era, the 1700s or whatever. And Eugene is absolutely convinced there are no, Black people ain't had no money back then. Money and power and wealth and status and monarchs and what are you talking about? And Toya's like, yeah, we did. Somewhere in the world, yeah, we did. And he, no, we didn't. And Toya didn't have good relationships with history books. Well, both of y'all kind of need to go read a history book because maybe not in wherever Bridgerton was set. But please do not convince yourself. Don't let your ego tell you that your first generation of wealth is the first generation of wealth for Black people, period. Part of the reason them people so damn crazy about Meghan Markle and I can't believe he married a Negro is because that looks like the first step to taking the monarchy back to Black. Black people in different places in the world, there've been power and wealth and status and money in all corners of the earth. Maybe not here and maybe not there, but and somewhere. So we move on. We see Toya is setting up the party. She has all these event planners and everybody there. You know how Toya do. She's talking about her itinerary for the party and that because they have such conflict in the group, they're going to have a cocktail hour, which is where Sweet Tea and G are going to come. That's going to be from 8 to 9. At 9 o'clock, they going to get in their ride and go home. And that's when Quad, King, Heavenly, and Damon will show up. So we move on to Quad's house. She and King are getting ready for the party. And we see King come in when she's getting her hair and stuff done. He starts spraying something on her wig. Well, she's carrying on about, don't spray that on my wig. And then you see them in the confessional laughing. And she, you got to stop. You got to stop. And it could just be me. But something about that moment gave fake doing too much, trying too hard. I'm sorry, it could be me. It just was something about that. You gotta stop. You gotta stop. It was like, look, I ain't trying to hate. I just something about it was like, And I think that they are genuinely happy. They're genuinely in love. I do believe that. But it was something about that particular moment. You know what it is? I think it was trying too hard to show that we're happy and in love. Like, girl, please, be real. So Quad mentions that this is going to be the first time that they're seeing everyone after everything went down. And she let King know that it got back to her that her ex-husband went and filed an incident report about an attempted assault. King said, who starts a fight and then goes and files charges? Lots of people, King. People pick fights. They get their ass whooped, and then they mad. King said he really thinks this was G's attempt to get them out of the group. And Quad said, well, I'm going to meet him halfway on that because I don't ever want to be around them again. Well, I'm going to tell you like this. You might get exactly what you're asking for. And prayerfully, King is prepared to make you a real housewife of Atlanta because this group is not loyal to you. And you may very well go tell them, I don't ever want to be around him again. And they're going to say, all right, that's well and good. But that means you're going to have to go about your way and go about your business. I mean, don't get me wrong. I get where Quad is coming from. I wouldn't want to be around my ex either, much less one who put hands and feet and all kind of on me. So I get where she's coming from, but you also have to understand the dynamics of the show, of the job, of the friend group, and know that you really have a 50-50 chance of them telling you, you can go about your business. So we move on to the actual event. We see everyone arriving and as scheduled with all of the other couples. At the beginning of the event, we see Sweet Tea and Dr. G come. When I tell you them people showed up looking a George Washington and Lil Bo Peep mess, in addition to them looking a mess, they came in with the mess. Toya says she's so happy that they put all the drama aside and came out to support them in their moment, but they didn't come out to support. They came out for stunts. They came with some damn lady whistle down style letter that they were passing out to all the party goers, and it's supposed to be talking trash about everybody. Heavenly is always talking about everybody's marriage but her own. Quad returned from a season of exile with a new man, and she allows this group to obsess over her new relationship and her ex-husband. What? Ain't nobody obsessing over her new relationship or the old one, but the motherfucker who wrote this sweet damn tea. Now, they did have brought up that there was a group trip to Ghana, and there's a picture of the group in Ghana, and Curtis got his hands on Heavenly waist, and they trying to figure out why the hell Curtis' hands on Heavenly waist and not his wife Jackie's waist. And the answer is because Curtis' hands is always somewhere they ain't supposed to damn be. They ain't never on his damn wife. And of course, Sweet Tea wrote herself as the victim at the end about how she believes she can coexist with these ladies, but there's always a target on her back. Girl, get the hell on. So while they're there, Cecil and Curtis pull G aside to ask him if he's had the chance to have any further thought about their discussion about him dropping the charges. He said he did think about it, and he has decided to let the group handle it. He is going to drop the charges. He said he's had a chance to listen to his wife's perspective, and that he does realize that to some degree, he does have to absorb his own responsibility, but he does still have some very strong feelings about the matter. Well, you can have your strong feelings as long as you don't have them down to the damn police station. Thank you very much. Well, Curtis and Cecil are very happy that he's being cooperative and that they can kind of work this out amongst themselves. And Dr. G said, I pride myself on being a rational, reasonable human being. Sir, you live in delusion. You need to go find one of your professional peers who can help you, because there got to be a name for whatever you got going on. So now, next thing you know, it's coming up on the time for G and Sweet Tea to leave. Here you got Contessa got Sweet Tea off to the side about, so have you guys decided what you're going to do? Are you going to leave? Are you going to, what do you mean have they decided? It ain't they damn party. And Sweet Tea told her that. Sweet Tea said, no, we have to leave. Contessa said, you have to leave? Like, so you can't stay? She said, yes, we have to. Contessa said, but what do you want to do? T said, I want to stay. Nobody cares what you want. You and your husband don't get to pick fights, file charges on people, have full-on tantrums. I'm going to send a cease and desist, and y'all always want to get the laws and the lawyers on people. And then when everybody else is getting along, when everybody else is having a good time, I want to stay. I want to play. Go play in hell. Even after everything that went down, after your husband called himself going to file charges, these people sat down and tried to have a conversation with you. You could barely have a conversation, gave them people your ex to kiss about any resolution or an RSVP. So now, when they've made room for you, now when they've accommodated you, when you refuse to try to work out the issue with anybody in the group, now you think you get to hijack the event? Now you think everybody has to tailor the event to what you want and to your entertainment? Absolutely not. So Simone goes and pulls Toya aside and said, listen, Contessa is over there begging them people to stay. Toya said, as much as we'd like the whole gang to be together, the fact of the matter is Quad, King, Heavenly, and Damon are on the way. They already got this fracture in the group and we can't fix it right now, so they're going to have to go. So Toya goes to interject herself into the conversation, and she says to T, listen, y'all know that Quad and Heavenly and Damon and King are on their way, and T is standing there glaring at her. This is her party. Are you dumb? Toya is standing there kind of lost for words because the girl just standing there looking at her like she's crazy. And Simone speaks up to say, so, I mean, we imagine that y'all probably don't want to be in the same room anyway. Contessa's in the confessional saying how this is so unfair. I mean, it's not like T is going to turn into a pumpkin at midnight. No, but her husband tried to turn this man into the police. Please go play in hell. Let me tell you what you don't get to do. You do not get to tell people that you're going to make accommodations for them, that you are going to stagger arrivals so that you won't walk into a setting with your known op and then decide, oh, well, my feelings got triggered, and once my feelings get involved, I just think we can do anything. So what I told you, I know I told you that you won't be walking into an environment with that known op who's filed charges against you, but I just think we can all get along. Contessa is the type of bitch that will walk you blind into a setup. Contessa has such a need to be celebrated as a problem solver, as a peacemaker, that she does not care who she creates a problem for or whose peace she disturbs doing it. So as they're going back and forth about it, Toya said, y'all created this mess. I don't know what to tell you. And T says, well, I'm fine with staying. That's your damn problem. You think everything blows with the wind of your damn mood, and it does not. And Toya said in the confessional, the truth is y'all did this. So your time slot is up. You got to go. G steps in because T will not back down. Like, you have no class. Have some cool. G steps in to say, listen, time heals all wounds. And maybe that's what we need right now, is we need to just give it a little time and let things heal. And you can see T looking down and looking around like she embarrassed that her daddy of a husband had to step in once again. G goes on to say, it's your special occasion, so we will graciously honor you and your husband on your special day, and you will see us again. And they're leaving the party, going back to their car, and they talking to each other about, ooh, you look ravishing. And T said some shit to G about, yeah, we gonna go home and I'm gonna pull this ponytail. Like, who's doing the bending? Well, they left. We see King, Quad, Damon, and Heavenly arrive, and the party finally starts. They do this grand entrance where they have all the couples come in one by one, and they're all introduced. And I know T and G home watching this mad to the mother. And speaking of being home mad together, G said as they were leaving that it might not be a bad idea for them to take some time away from this group. And that, I mean, hey, do what you gotta do. We'll see what next season brings. And T is piggybacking on that bullshit in the confessional about he wants to have a baby as soon as possible, and I want to have one as soon as possible. So if that means that we need to step away, then we need to step away. Girl, just don't piss me off. I am so tired of her. With every time that shit hits the fan, well, we want to have a baby. This is not what's stopping y'all from having a baby. Play with somebody else. Now, they introduced all the couples. Eugene and Toya make their grand entrance. And randomly, we see this moment where Simone pulls Contessa aside for them to discuss Phaedra. They are talking about how they tried to get Phaedra to come to no avail. And they show this clip of Sweet Tea, Simone, and Contessa going to talk to Phaedra about why she's not participating with the group. And Phaedra is telling them how she's not going to accommodate anybody's disrespect. So at the party, Contessa and Simone are saying how, well, we reiterated to Phaedra that she's supported and we are good friends. And what is the point? Simone says something about, and nobody's perfect. She's not perfect. We're not perfect. But I'm just so happy that you're back, Contessa. And that, what the fuck? What? So now that they've done the entrances, we see Eugene and Toya make their grand entrance. Eugene gives this really beautiful heartfelt speech to Toya, and then we get back into the mess. So we see the guys briefing King and Damon on the conversation that they had with G, saying that G is willing to drop the charges and move forward within the group. King said he agrees. He's also willing to moving forward. So now we cut over to the women, and we have Simone explaining to Quad that she overheard G as he was leaving, and he's more level-headed now, and he was basically just embarrassed, and he's willing to move forward. So is she also willing to move forward so that they can come back together as a group? Quad said, I'm not interested. Toya said, well, I get that you're not interested, but what about what's for the good of the group? What's for the good of your men? Quad said, I said, I'm not interested. Toya starts her bullshit about forgiveness is what we should be praying on. Yeah, forgiveness should be the priority. Quad said, yeah, you're right. And I can forgive you here. But that doesn't mean that I have to continue to put myself in compromising situations with you. So Toya says what you're asking us to do is choose between you and Letitia. Quad said, I'm not asking y'all to choose between anybody. What I'm asking you to do is to put yourself in my shoes and do the right thing. Because here's essentially what you're asking her to do. You're asking her to accommodate her abuser. That's what you're asking her to do. This is a man who openly admit on TV that he has gotten physical with her when they were married. He admitted that. And y'all will find any way to aid and abet that man into making this woman the problem. Yes, Quad is over the top. Yes, Quad has a big personality. Yes, Quad can make herself the victim. Yes, Quad has all kinds of personality deficits. But at the end of the day, Greg is the monster. And you have Sweet Tea. You have his whole relationship with Sweet Tea that we see put on display to prove that. To prove that you can change the woman and it won't change the man. When it comes down to this group, we're not going to pretend that they do not find some kind of a way to make Quad the problem and excuse everything that G does. Even down to their divorce, and Quad didn't want to sleep with him, and she never wanted him. She was just using him. She was just trying to have a come up. If somebody is putting hands and feet on you, somebody dragging you up and down the stairs, is you trying to bust it open for them? Much less. Are you looking to reproduce? Are you looking to give them a bloodline? Are you looking to tie yourself to that person for the rest of eternity? I don't blame that damn woman. So Toya's rolling her eyes at Quad and over talking Quad and saying, well, I'm just saying it feels like we've been here before and we've had to lose people in this group and I don't want to lose people again. Quad said, well, go ahead and lose me. Bottom line, that Quad said, if I'm not y'all's choice, I'm fine with that. And Toya is saying, well, everybody has made mistakes in this group, including King. Quad said, well, what mistakes did King make? When she couldn't come up with an answer, Simone comes from the sidelines about, well, his mistake was he took the bait. So y'all not going to hold the fishermen accountable for throwing the bait out there. The problem is the fish who took it. Okay. When Simone said, well, he took the bait, Heavenly spoke up and said, if your man allow a man to disrespect his wife and don't say nothing, he's a bitch. And while no, I do not encourage women encouraging their men to do physical battle, to engage in hand-to-hand combat, to defend their honor. No, I don't encourage that. No, I'm not saying, oh yeah, Quad should have pushed her man at the fight because I saw some of that in the comments. I'm not saying anything of the sort. However, if my man has decided that his job in this life is to pray, profess, protect, and provide, you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to handle me all kinds of ways. And you for damn sure ain't going to go to my man to man, and tell him, yeah, I said anything I wanted to say to your wife and think you just going to walk off without a foot up your ass. At that point, that man ain't even defending that woman's honor. He's defending his own. And Quad goes on to say, and y'all are not going to have me to monitor myself when he's around. That's my ex. That's my past. It's not going to happen. And that's exactly what they're asking for. They're asking her to allow your ex-husband to continue to manipulate and control your life. Here's the unspoken part. Y'all don't like the girl. And y'all think she deserved what that man did to her. Y'all think she deserved everything that she went through. That's the part that they're not saying. That's why they can stand up in her face and defend her abuser to her. Because this man said this seasons ago when they were going through their divorce, and even when he said it out of his mouth as they were filming the episode, as he's saying it out of his mouth, they're trying to deny it. No, he never hit her. He just said he did it. But y'all are so committed to making her the problem that y'all don't give a damn what he did because you think she deserved it. And Toya said in the confessional that Quad may say today that she doesn't want to be around Dr. G and his wife, but tomorrow I think Quad will say she'll not let anyone take her away from her friends in this group. Well, to say that I don't want to be around him is not to say I don't want to be friends with my friends. Now, what it is to say is if my friends insist on maintaining friendships to the degree that I have to be in the same spaces with this person, then I have to make a choice. So now here comes Simone. We're going back to a fractured group. That's what she's saying. Toya said we're already fractured. Simone just wants the freedom to not like Quad again. You want the freedom to call her the problem again. Because why weren't you announcing that we're going back to a fractured group when G was filing charges? When Toya said, we're already fractured, Quad said, yeah, we've been fractured. Simone said, no, not that bad. Heavenly said, yeah, not to the degree that we've had to stagger people arriving at an event. So they decided to end this conversation. It's time for them to go do their waltz. They've been practicing good because I need to calm down too. They don't work my nerves so damn bad. Child, they supposed to be doing the waltz. Quad and King done forgot the step. She over there just twerking and rocking up. Just so the episode came to an end with them dancing and partying and having a good time. Child, when I tell you they look a fool in them costumes, I don't know who the hell Scott's supposed to be, but he looked like the vampire in Brooklyn. It's a mess. But child, that leads us right to the reunion, and that's a bigger mess. Simone gonna be screaming at Quad as usual. Heavenly cursing Sweet T out. T and Toya gonna get into it because Toya told T her and Quad shared the same, and T mad. Child, and then it looks like they're gonna have a whole segment for the men because they got a whole lot of drama that they gotta get into. I forgot Damon was beefing with G behind that whole am I a cheater? Child, it's about to be a mess. But child, that's all next week. For this week, that's it. That's all, and I ain't got no more. Thank y'all so much for coming down here listening to me and let me get this off my chest. Y'all, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you've not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, y'all know I love you and I mean it. Bye.